What's up everybody, Venom here with a quick guide on World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Let's get right into it. Now, you may have heard back in July that you now have the ability to unlock Old Scholomance as well as Old Naxxramas in Dragonflight. Now, there are a lot of preliminary steps that you have to take to even unlock Old Scholomance in order to unlock the Old Naxxramas in Dragonflight. But I'm going to be making a guide on that as well, but this is not what this video is for. This video is simply the questline to immediately get Revered with Argent Dawn in order to make it a little bit easier to get into Old Naxxramas once you have completed all the preliminaries and prerequisites for Scholomance. There are a lot of videos out there that I personally looked through in order to find the best way to farm reputation for the Argent Dawn, and most of them made it seem like it was going to be a monumental task, and it isn't. It can be done in about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your level and depending on your class of character that you have chosen. Now, me personally, I went and did this on my mage just because it's easy to teleport everywhere and I don't have to just fly back and forth and that kind of stuff. So it was easier to do on my mage, but you can absolutely do it on any class. This is not going to be easier or harder on any class. This can be done on any character. Now, my mage is max level, which does kind of make things a little easier since everything is a one-shot, but even a level 55 or 60 can one-shot almost everything that you will need to kill for this questline. And once you complete this quest, it completes it account-wide. So all of your characters will be able to access Old Naxxramas and Old Scholomance by the time you have finished this quest. Now, again, there are preliminaries that I am not covering in this guide to get to this quest line. That is a separate guide because that is a very in-depth kind of tutorial of how to get all of the different pieces to unlock Old Scholomance in order to even unlock Naxxramas in the first place. But this is just for the rep farm because I had a lot of questions and I wanted to help others who might have questions like I did instead of running around and thinking it was going to be a huge task. It literally takes one questline and you go from neutral to revered or 0 to revered with Argent Dawn. The first thing you are going to want to do is log on to the character that you want to do this questline on. Again, it is account-wide once you finish this, so it's not a big deal who you choose to start out with. With that said, you are going to head on over to Undercity if you are the Horde, and if you are Alliance, you are simply going to go to Stormwind and then fly as close as you can to the Eastern Plaguelands. Now, I flew right here because it was the closest to where this questline starts. I just got on my mount and flew myself because it was a little bit easier for me, but I am also a Horde. So I flew from the Undercity to right here where you are going to find Fiona's Caravan. This questline with Fiona is extremely easy, especially if you are max level. There is barely any kind of thought involved. You kill a couple of things, you loot a couple of things, and you sit on a caravan and go for a really interesting ride while they tell stories as you go from place to place. Another cool thing about this is once you enter this area in the Plaguelands, you're going to actually see Fiona's Caravan right in the beginning of the Eastern Plaguelands, which makes it extremely easy to know where to go to begin the quest. But just in case you do get confused, it is right here on your map inside of EPL or Eastern Plaguelands. If you are high level like me, she will not have an exclamation point over her head because I don't have my old quests turned on, so I could not see it. If you land and you simply talk to Fiona, who will be standing directly next to her caravan, you will be able to accept 2 separate quests. Now, you are going to want to pick up both of these quests, not one or the other. You need to pick up both from Fiona. One is for Gidwin Golden Braids, and one is for Tarenar Sunstrike. You can do these quests in any order you so choose. I suggest going with Gidwin first, just because it's a little bit easier and closer, and there's only a couple little quests before you go back to Fiona to turn it in to get him to ride on the caravan. So that is where I started. I started with Gidwin, and then I went to Tarenar. Gidwin will give you a couple of quests. One is going to be to run into the cave and kill the little spider creatures that are inside there and loot their bodies and bring back their bile, and you'll need to collect 8 of them. I think it's a 100% drop rate because it did not take me very long. As you see, I'm running through here rapidly, killing them, running out. You turn the quest back in, and then you're going to get a quest to collect herbs. Now, initially, because they were called Banshee's Bells, I thought they were actually going to be bells because I'm kind of silly sometimes, but it's not. It's herbs that are on the ground, and they're scattered all across right where Gidwin is. They are not hard to find. As you can see, I'm just picking them up right here. And you will need to collect 10 of these Banshee's bells and then bring them back to Fiona. Fiona will not give you another quest once you turn this one in. You are simply just going to move right on to the Tarenar Sunstrike quest, where you will fly over to him, where he is standing outside of this little area filled with kind of some ghouls and goblins and some shadowy creatures. You're going to go over there, turn the quest into him, and he is going to ask you to slay 5 Death Step miscreations. And once you do that, another quest should pop up instantly, like it did for me here, to go and get 10 Plaguehound Bloods. So you're going to kill 10 Plaguehounds. For me, it actually wasn't a 100% drop rate. I don't know if that varies, but it took me quite a few kills to get all 10, but you are going to collect 10 of these Plaguehound Bloods and then bring them back to Fiona at the Caravan in her original spot. Now, it's very easy, again, to see all these different quests and where to go, because that little gold arrow does show you where to go in Dragonflight, so that's helpful, but as you can see, just running around, getting the blood, and bringing it back to Fiona to turn the quest in. Once you turn the blood into Fiona, you are going to get another quest that will ask you to ride on her caravan. Now, there will be 3 other quests in here that'll say low level if you are level 70. Those are just buffs from back in the day that you used to be able to get to help you get through this quest line, which was kind of cool. Each of the different characters that ride on the caravan can give you a different buff, but we don't have to worry about that here. We just want to ride Fiona's caravan to its next destination. Then you're going to take a leisurely caravan ride and listen to them gossip and talk about fun things all the way until you reach the first checkpoint. The first checkpoint is going to be Crown Guard Tower, and here you are going to turn in a quest initially to Fiona, and she is not going to give you another quest. You are going to run right up here to Mr. Sunstrike yet again and speak to him in order to recruit someone new for your caravan ride. And you are going to take that quest from Tarenar, go straight into the tower, run all the way to the top, or you can walk outside and fly, unlike I did, because I forget that this is not OG Classic and I can fly. So you are going to fly to the top of the tower and speak to Argus Brightbeacon. Now, you are first going to want to complete the Rough Roads quest that he has to offer. He's going to make you do it anyway, so I would just skip ahead and grab the Rough Roads quest. It is very easy, and all you're going to do, accept the quest from Argus and kill 13 plague bats that are all around the area. After you kill 13, you will head right back to Argus at the top of the tower by flying up there real nice instead of running up the ramps. Turn in the quest to Argus and go back down to Fiona's caravan. You will then speak to Fiona, who will give you another quest called The Trek Continues. You will then get back onto the caravan and head to the next checkpoint. Again, you're just going to sit around and wait until the caravan reaches its next checkpoint, which will be Light's Shield Tower. Once you arrive here, Fiona will have a quest for you to turn in, and you will turn that in, then accept Boys Will Be Boys, and that's going to take you to Light's Hope Chapel. Now, again, you're going to notice that so far you haven't gotten any reputation. Don't panic. You are not going to get any reputation for this caravan ride, and you are not going to get any reputation until you have reached the Boys Will Be Boys quest line and go to Light's Hope Chapel. But I assure you, you are going to get a massive chunk of this reputation that will get you to at least Revered from neutral. From here, you are going to fly to Light's Hope Chapel, go down and speak to Gidwin, who will be waiting at the front by the statue, turn the quest in Boys Will Be Boys, and he will give you another quest to go inside of the chapel to speak with Lord Maxwell. Once you speak to Lord Maxwell, he's going to send you behind the chapel, not inside, to the crypt located directly behind the chapel, as you can see me running to it here. You're going to enter the crypt, go all the way to the bottom, where you're going to use the scroll quest item that was given to you to begin the trial of the crypt. This trial takes a minute if you are level 70 like I was, because it's just very slow paced. They spawn very slowly because you're not supposed to be able to one-shot them like I do. So everything is going to be a very easy one-shot. You're going to just wait for the trial to end, and then Lord Raymond George is going to attack you, and that is going to finish this quest. He will attack you, you one-shot him too, you go back up to Lord Maxwell and turn in the quest. You're going to notice immediately when you turn in the quest to Lord Maxwell, he is going to give you another quest to slay undead. You do not have to do this quest. really, you don't even have to turn in the quest that he gives you, the Trial of the Crypt, because once it's complete, you get over 20,000 reputation for slaying George down in the crypt. So you don't even have to really turn the quest in. I did just in case, but you don't have to. It brings you right to Revered immediately after defeating him in the Trial of the Crypt. From here, you are going to want to make sure that you have the other reagents, such as the arcane crystals, the large brilliant shards, and the righteous orb to turn in for the dread Citadel Naxxramas quest. Like I said, I went from neutral all the way up to Revered just by simply doing this 20-minute quest line. It took me no time at all, but I was nervous going into it because other guides made it seem like this was going to take forever. It does not. So with that said, that's gonna do it for this guide. As always, if you like the video, then like the video. And if you like my content in general, then please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!